Hello, I'm Zardus, and welcome back to my Planet Zoo for New Players series. Today we are going to talk about how to build an animal habitat. We're going to put one in here, and let's go ahead and pick out what animal we want. So we can go to the Zoopedia, and this zoo is really based on North America. We want habitat, animals, and we want North America. Let's go ahead and pick something simple. Let's go with a grizzly bear. So you want to look at your animal that you want. This would be grizzly bear, and we want to go to see their natural habitat. And we can see how much space they need, 750 meters square. And they need a grade 4 climb-proof barrier that has to be at least 2 meters tall. We can have one male and one female in the group. So let's go back here, and if we have 2 adults, we need 800 square meters. Doesn't have to be too big, but we can go in here. So we first want to build the barrier. We go to barrier, and we needed grade 4. So we need to look to see which ones you can see. If you go to the barrier here, it says resistance grade SIPs, so concrete would be really good. Wood logs is only grade 3, so that will not hold your bears in. And there should be other one, yeah, Gambian grade 5. Corrugated metal is only grade 2, so the bears could get through there too. And also the concrete is not climbable, so we'll go ahead and use that. But if we did want to use one that is climbable, say we have something that only needs a grade 3, but it shouldn't be climbable, we can go in here. And when we're in the barrier, we can select the barrier and then click this and go over. And that will select both of those pieces. Then we can go over here, go to settings, and climb proof. We can set the different sides. So right now left, this you can see has a little thing added. You can take that off and add it back on. You can see the difference there. So that means that this side is not climbable now. Or we can put it on the other side there. On that side now, or we could put it on both sides just to be safe, so nobody can climb either direction on that barrier. And that's one way that you can make a barrier that says that it is climbable into a not climbable barrier. It's one thing to be aware of. Then let's get back in here. We're going to build our barrier, and again, it's not going to be anything super fancy. We're just doing the very basics here. We want to go in here, and then we are going to bring this relatively close to the path, but now we're going to skip over in here. And I want to put another path in here, which will be where the guests can have their viewing of the bears. And then we'll just click to complete that whole circle. Now, if you wanted to edit this, we can go in here and we can select all of the whole circle by selecting this icon. We can raise and lower the barrier this way to whatever height we want. Or you can select individual pieces. So like this corner, we could raise up like that. Or the segment here, we could raise the whole segment. But what we want is we need it to be at least 2 meters tall. So we will keep that at 2.05. I'm not sure why that says. There we go. There's a glitch. So yeah, 2.06 is more than we need. And over in here, we're going to add, in here, we want to make this window. So we're going to add windows in there. So now, let's get a little path here so that people can go in and walk in there. And we want snap alongside barriers. So what I did here is I'm holding control to build the path right alongside here. Or like the control allowed me to build the path not connected to other paths. Now we can just do that, and they will be able to go in and view from there. Back to the barrier, we need to add a gate. So we're going to put in a habitat gate. We'll put it over. See, where do we have staff things? They're over here. So we're going to get a gate here. And then we need a staff path. So we go here to staff paths. We can build that like that. So now the staff can get in here and get to the habitat. So now we have the barrier that we need. Now we want to go into habitat, and we want to get this ready for our grizzly bear. We're going to go down to grizzly, and we have the things that we can build in here. First of all, let's go back to the Zoopedia. We want to make sure they don't need any climbing, they don't need any water, and they don't need any deep water. If you have an animal, say the gray seal, needs deep water, so you need to make sure that you have deep water in the habitat and that you have the right amount of water in the habitat in general. Or if you have an animal that wants to climb, like the let's see, Colombian white-faced capuchin monkey, then you need to have climbing requirement in there. But again, the grizzly does not have any climbing requirement, so that is good to know. What we do want is we want to have a little bit of hard shelter where the animal can sleep. So we're going to go ahead, and I don't want anything from the workshop. I'm not sure the best way to filter that out, but we could do other things like a classic shelter, so the bear can sleep in here. That is one thing to do. Or we could build our own using ROPS. So let's go in here to ROPS, and we're going to do continent North America, and we can get these ROPS in here. And I will build a very brief rock shelter. Okay, so now we have some ROPS in here, and that should serve as a hard shelter. So if we go back to habitat, we want to make sure that we are adding different things. So first you need food and water. We're going to add a large food tray, and I like to put that kind of near where guests can see, so they are eating, or the guests can see them eating. Then you need water. They need water to drink, and there are a couple different ways you can do it. You can do it with a water pipe, which is my preferred method, which is easy, or like my preferred easy method, or you can add some natural water. But if you add natural water, you want to make sure that you have a water treatment facility nearby, and I don't think we have one near here, so we're just going to use the water pipe. Then you want to have a heater and cooler if your temperature needs to be in a certain range. Let's check what the animal, the grizzly, wants. 14 to 82. We should be in there. This is a North American zoo, so I think it should be within that range, so we're not going to have to worry about that, but that is something to keep in mind. And then you want to add a little bit of bedding to your habitat as well. We're going to add just a little bit of bedding into this cave that we've built so that the animal can go in there. Then we want to have enrichment. So you want to have a feeder of some sort. Let's go ahead with food enrichment. We want to make sure we get that. Get a roller feeder over here. And a tree forager. Those should be intriguing for guests to see. And a tree scatter. Might as well get that out in here. And then a toy. Make sure you get some toys for them to play with. We'll put a bobbin out here. We'll put a prey-scented sack up at the top. I think the animal will be able to get up there, but we'll also put the scratching post back there and wind chimes for them to play with. Put those on top of here as well. So then those are the things you need. Oh, and they can climb, so just in case they have trouble getting up here, let's go ahead and give them an extra way that they can get up. a nice little ramp to assist if they need it. So now the grizzly should be able to get there, and this should be pretty much set for getting started. Let's go and find ourselves a grizzly. So we're going to filter by grizzly. Grizzly bear. Confirm. And we want one male and one female, so we will go ahead and adopt that and adopt this one. So when you adopt them, they go into the trade center. If you then go to animal storage, you will find them there. What I'm going to do is select them and send them to the quarantine center first, because they might have an illness. And by sending them to quarantine first, they will be kept separate from any other animals, and the vets will check them out. So we're going to fast forward here and see when they're done. Okay, so our animals are out of their quarantine, so we can now go to zoo, go to animals, and we should be able to find our grizzlies here. They're both in quarantine, but this one is sick. Jackson, like I said, has been determined to be sick, so we'll just move this other one over here to get started. So that should happen. Oh, and the other thing you need to do is you need to go to staff and make sure that you have a keeper assigned to your habitat. So we're going to go in here, and I want them on work zone 2, and then we're just going to make sure that this is in work zone. So we'll go to work zone 2, edit, and add that habitat to the work zone. Now we have a keeper assigned to that, and we will be able to have that happen now. This one is ready as well. We'll move this grizzly over to here. And they should be moved pretty quickly, but let's go ahead and skip ahead. Okay, so our first grizzly has arrived. The first thing to do is to look at the terrain, and you can see this terrain is not suitable for the grizzly, so we need to fix that. They want much less long grass, and they want more rock and short grass. So we'll go to terrain, and we want the painting tool. We're going to go with short grass, and we'll go ahead and get a lot of that in here, just kind of replacing the long grass with short, and that will help to begin with. And then that is much better already. We want to get some soil in here. They're not happy with our hard shelter, so we'll have to take a look at that too. We'll get some soil mixed in here as well. That terrain is already improving. We'll go ahead and get a little bit of rock in here. Okay, so we'll take that. We're going to take a look at the heat map and go to traversable area and click on that. So they can't get in here. Our roof is too low on that. So we have a couple of different options. I'm going to go in and actually lower the terrain a little bit by going to sculpting and push this down. Okay, so I guess I didn't give them enough space in there, but that's okay. We'll just put one quick bed in there. There's only a couple of them, so we'll go ahead and with that. So they have their hard shelter, they have the terrain that they want. Next thing is environment. So they want more plant coverage and tree coverage. So we're going to go in, and they want taiga, temperate, or tundra from North America. So then we go to nature, and we want to make sure that we're in their continent and their biome. We'll go ahead with taiga, and we want some trees in there. There aren't too many taiga trees, but we will get a few, and that should already begin to add the coverage that they need. One thing to keep in mind is that animals that can climb, like the grizzly, can't you don't want to have your trees too close to your barriers, because then they can get out. So just keep that in mind. We'll get a few other trees in here as well. And let's check. Do we have the coverage we want? We're not quite there yet. So we'll just add another little bit here. There we go. So just adding one tall tree in the back got us over the edge. I do want to check. So they actually can't make it up there. So I want to make sure. Okay, well, for whatever reason, the grizzly bear does not want to be on top of rocks, it would seem. So we're going to just move the stuff that we put on top of this little cave off of there and call it a day. So we can move these things down, and then they'll be able to have the enrichment from them just fine. But you get the idea of what you can do with habitats. Oh, the last thing you want to do is make sure you add a couple of things. First, you want an education board. You'll put that there so that we get education from it. We'll put a speaker in as well. Then we want to click on that and select the grizzly bear. And here, select the grizzly bear. So now we're providing education. And then we also want a donation bin. So we'll go to bins. And then we want to go to donation bin, which if you scroll down is somewhere in here. Oh, it's not in here. Donation box. So we put that here, then guests will start to donate, and that is one way to help earn money for your zoo. So now these guests can come in here, they can look for the grizzlies, and they can enjoy it. But that is how to build a habitat. I hope you found that useful. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time. Take care.